can do it too. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You can do it too. Come along and draw with me. Pads and pencils, a very good start. So when you draw with your heart. You draw with your heart, 'cause you can do it too. You can do it too. You can do it too.
Hi, my name is Lydia Forte-Santiago. Welcome to the show of You Could Do It Too. The last show we had done the little preliminary sketch. Now we're going to start and we're going to detail it so it looks more intense. We're going to start off with the hat. Now remember I said you do the sketch and once you have it light that you're sure, now you can come heavy. So now I'm going to come heavy. I'm working now with Vine charcoal. Vine charcoal, like I said before, is very easy to manipulate. It's just a very soft chalk and it blends in very easy. And before I actually do a painting, I do a preliminary charcoal sketch, but then I spray it because you can't mix this with paint. So what I do is I spray it with fixative and I leave it overnight and I let it dry. When it's thoroughly dry and you take your fingers and you run it like this and it doesn't smear, then you know you could start putting your oil paint on the canvas. But if it's not dry, you cannot do that. So you have to wait. That's why you have to spray it with fixative. So we're going to just make this intense. We're going to work with the hat first because that seems to be predominant. And then I'm going to go into the clothing here of the jacket. And we're going to, and you see by darkening this jacket, as you could see the shirt pops out. Sometimes it's better off to work with black and white, or you could do a black and white sketches to begin with before you get into color. Sometimes I started to do the black and whites and everything, and then after I got into the color. Just makes it a little bit easier. And you master the medium first. But like I said, the painting of Kent Hall, which is right over here, that I was so honored to do, I started the same way. And of my friend who was airborne in the Army, also the same way. And of course, Jay's family and Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, by the way, it happens to be a pastel. That isn't an oil painting, that is a pastel. But you could see how beautiful a pastel can look. It almost looks like an oil, but it isn't. It has glass on it. It's glass. So now we're going to go back to this so you could see. And we're going to take this arm here that he has, and we're going to, right in here, this fold, this has to show a lot of shadow because it's, the arm is folding up, and this is his coat, his arm. So you're going to bring it. This is really a little bit of time consuming, but it is pleasurable. And you have to keep at it. You can't just, like I told you before and I repeat again, you cannot let it go. Here's the shirt. There's a little shirt coming out of this, and there's a few little buttons that he has here that you do. And his arm is resting. This is his on hanging over a chair. This is, see how easy this is to blend with? It's so easy. And what's good about this, if you do make a mistake, you just take the gum eraser and erase it. Now we come back and we start lightening. And I made a few of these gummy erasers easy prepared, so this way I don't have to do it here on the show. Now look what happens here by adding this light. This is the fun part. This is the part you really enjoy. Yeah. And the nose right here. There's a darkness right here that we gotta make that happen. And then you kind of make the little light there so it could kind of pop out and bring his nose in a little bit like that. Underneath his nostrils like this. Darken right in here. Yeah. And then right here, there's a little bit of light that we always have there, right there. And then right where you get over here to his eyes, you look at his expression, and you just bring this up like that. And same here, you bring it up, you see. See, once you use the caliper and you have this measurements, you can let it go. Then you already have it, you know. Once you have his look, you know, his expression and his look, it's fine. So we take a little bit of this, and right here, this part of the eye, you see, and you know what I do? I just touch it. See what I did? I just went like this, and I lay the gum eraser down, and I brought it out. See, I take this and I lay it down like the corner of the eye there, and I bring it out. And then I just take this and I lay it down like this, and I sometimes do this with paint. I take the paint. You don't have to start drawing. You could just go like this with the paint, and you make your markings. You don't have to do like actually get into start drawing. I remember I studied with Everett Raymond Kinsler, and who's a famous portrait artist, and he said, sometimes just lay your paint down. And this is in paint, I'm working with vine, but you kind of do the same thing too. His expression comes, this eyebrow comes down a little bit like that. And here, it's really a nice little picture. We're going to sharpen this hat a little bit. This should be sharpened. So we're going to do that to it, like that. Make this like that. See? And another thing that I do after like even though Kent Hall's painting looks done, it's not done. I'm still working on minutia. And what I mean by minutia is I come back after I think it's done, and I start cleaning it, and I look for all the lines and the color and like in his case, all those metals and everything, and I make sure everything is just so. So you go back and you reinstate, and you go back to the minutia. Minutia is sort of like cleaning up your work. See, now by doing this, you see what's happening here? Look how nice. And your form, it's all about form. See? And his hair he shows up a little bit here. There's a lot of more darkness here only because the light is coming from the left. So this part of the face, as you could see, is lit up. So we're going to lighten it up. We're going to lighten that up. There. And look how pretty it's beginning to look. And then the buttons, again, remember I said about laying this, see? You just take this, and I'm not actually drawing. I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4. Look how easy that was. So if I could do it, you could do it. You see? And you get the effect. Now here you lighten up the shirt. And clean it. You see, now I'm cleaning this. Because one thing about vine charcoal it's pretty, but it also can be a little messy. So you have to sharpen and clean out your lines. By cleaning out your lines, it makes everything more intense and more three-dimensional. Right here he has a little bit of a more, and in here his lip, you can kind of darken that a little bit. And you could see this coming out, you know, and you can kind of darken this a little bit too. This is, and over here you can darken it too, because this is the part where it's over there. It's lost in shadow. Sort of that side of the face is, and this takes a little bit more time, but what's interesting about portraiture is that you're also achieving likeness. So it's something that you really cannot rush, you know. And not only that, you have to capture the soul of the person and his personality, and there's a lot in portraiture. It's not just like drawing a still life, especially if the person commissions you and you want to make the likeness look intense, so it actually looks like the person, you know. And it doesn't matter how long it actually takes, really, because you can just go back to it and look at it. You know what I mean? This is something that I really don't rush. I mean, when I'm commissioned to do a portrait for somebody, I just say, I can't tell you when I'm going to be done, because I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is that you can come and you could watch me painting as I'm painting, and you could see the progress. But I can't give you a definite time, because I myself don't know. You know, I take so much time because I want it to be perfect. And it's important that you get the likeness. Here's a little bit of bottom of the eye. You got to put that in. Yeah. It's really pretty. Right here there's some light, and here there's some light with the forehead. There, that's like that goes, and then his hair has like light hair. So and all I'm doing this, really, I mean, you could see, what am I using here? I'm using a vine, and I'm using a little gummy razor. There's not a lot of things here. I'm using my caliper for the measurements, because I told you that's important. And I'm using this is a little brush. Sometimes when you want to take some of this dusting off, you can kind of do it here. Clean this out a little. I take another gummy eraser, because that one is kind of dirty already. See? And now, if I look at this and I back up, I could see over here, it could use a little darkness here, because this is where the right side, the light is coming from the left. Usually the old masters, when they painted all the light was always coming from the left. And this is that code of his, so there has to be some. And right here I see if I look at, sometimes you have to look at something over and over again. That's why it's not only one pass. Remember I said it in the other lessons? You have to go over it, because to make it exact, you have to do more than one pass. It's reinstate. That's what it's all about. It's reinstating. I took a lesson at the Art Students League, and I was with one of my good friend and art teachers, and he said, Lydia, you have to reinstate. My friend David Penna, you have to reinstate. And my also good artist friend Sharon Chacon, she helped me a lot too, and Walter Mosley. They all helped me with the art because I kept on taking art lessons endlessly, and I still do. Even if I find somebody that I could find that's really dynamic, I'll jump in on a class. And I just went to see an opening of Bill Murphy, and I was so impressed with his paintings. And I remember taking lessons with him when I was in my 30s. So you see what happens? Now, look at this. I'm reinstating. See, now I'm sort of sure. So now I come on strong. I wasn't doing this before. You see, I was not doing this. But now I'm sure. I like my lines. I like what I see. So because what I see, I come intense. And I could get this to better likeness. Now, my buttons, what I'll do with my buttons, I'm going to darken this again. See? And you could do it too. I could do it, you could do it, remember. And I always start with it's always the power of your subconscious mind. And I always tell myself, I am going to do this and I'm going to get it right. And I believe in myself. Without belief in yourself, without faith in yourself, it could really never happen. You and don't worry about what other people say, what other people think, or what other people do. Because I remember one time when I was a very young girl, I saw this young fella next to me doing a beautiful portrait, and I said, I'm dropping out of this class. I paint lousy. And that wasn't so. And I did drop out, and I made a big mistake. And if I would have continued, and I would have stayed in that class, I would have excelled a lot sooner. So never, ever drop out. Always believe in yourself and keep on doing it, because that's what will make it happen. Your belief and your faith in yourself. And read all the positive and motivating books. They will also help. Somebody says, oh, that's not good. That's what they say. That's not what you say. You know you're good, and you know you're going to get better and better at it. And that's what you do. And that will help you. So now look just see what's happening here. Now I come back. You see, now again, reinstating. Sometimes you got to pull out this gum eraser like this. See, this is kind of funny, but it's kind of like that putty the kids play with. My grandkids play with that putty. And I got my little granddaughters, Charlotte and Reese. I got them drawing already too. They like to do this. It's fun. And they say, oh yeah, Grandma, if you can do it, we can do it too. I says, that's right. So here I'm going to lighten this. Watch this. There. The lip. Watch. See? Now the nose. See, when you clean it out, now, see what happens? Now let's get his hair, just put some strands here, because his hair is like hanging there, and it's there, and his ear there is showing there. And right here, I believe there's some shadow from the neck. So let's put that in. See, I just spotted that now. You know, you go back to it and you find things that you had missed. That's why it's so important to keep on looking at this over and over again. And then you blend it in. You don't want any strong lines. You sort of loosen up your lines. Loosen up your lines a little bit. That looks better. And then you can soften it up a little bit. And you know, just like it is with the other things I told you, there's values in these things. You have to look at the values. It's there. Right here, there's, you know, and the more you look at it, the more you see. Right here, there's another little light. These gummy races get a little dirty, so you have to constantly keep on turning them to get a clean spot. Look how pretty that's coming. Oh, this could be a little bit darker. I think I'm going to darken that. There. Here's where this little brush comes in. See this little brush. See, vine is very like, it smears easy. But it's okay. It's okay because all this gets sprayed. Once you spray everything, and I leave this overnight. I don't spray this and start working at it. I actually leave it overnight, and then I come back to it, and I make sure that if I try to smear it, it's not going to smear. When it's not going to smear, then I know I'm ready to paint. If it smears, I don't even bother, because I remember in the beginning I used to just get the paintbrush, and boy, what a mess I made. So it doesn't work. You have to actually let it dry, and then you come back to it, and then you do it, and then it works out really, really good, you know. So it's all about believing in yourself and having faith, and remember that you could do it too, because I could do it, and so can you, you know. All you really have to do is a passion for art. If you care about art and you love art and everything, then and what better way than spending the time than doing a beautiful painting, or going out in the park and seeing something and sketching it out, or taking paints and doing it. What better way to spend time to do that? It's really great. See, these little buttons are a little bit, so let me just redefine them a little bit, because that one is not a little. See, that looks like a little better now. It's better than it was. And then his fingers here are like a little bit, kind of, they're like that. And this is the bottom of his hand, like that. And then he's got his shirt there, just like a little shirt, I don't know, cuff, a little cuff here that's showing. And his hand is hanging there. And now what I'm going to do, as I look at this, I'm going to start cleaning. And cleaning is just this. Cleaning is very important. Whatever I'm doing with this particular drawing is actually what I do with paints, but I do it with paint. Now I'm doing it with charcoal, with vine charcoal. But the cleaning it and everything, all this I do. Because when you clean it and you do the minutia, you make it more definite. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a nice, fine drawing that has feeling. See how nice that's beginning to look? Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just pop out his eyes a little bit. A little bit. And this has values too, you know. You have to do values with this. Don't think you don't. Values you do with everything. Still life, portraiture. Yeah. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Remember when I did the buttons? I'm going to just take a little bit of this little gum eraser, and I'm going to just kind of dot that like that there. See? Don't that look nice? And then I'm going to dot this like that. Just, it really is easy. There. And then that's like that little light that we have in their eye. There. So you can see that he's kind of there, looking at us. Yeah. And then this can go up a little bit like that. His expression is like up like that. His like that. And this is a little dark too. This is a little dark. This. And yeah. See, so the more you actually get into it, the better it gets. And right here, and what's good about this is that it's so easy to erase. So if you want to correct something, you can correct it with ease. But once you spray this with that fixative that I was talking about, then that's it. Then you're actually sealing it. You're not going to do nothing anymore. You're going to leave it. Then you're ready to paint. Yeah, once that's sprayed, that's it. You know, right in here, there's a little light too that I just noticed there. That goes there. And then there's a little bit here too. So you have to really look at this and study it to get this correct. You know, because you're looking for expression. You're looking for, over here he has this underneath his eye. You have to put that. Now some of them are light, some of them are dark, you know, so you have to kind of play with those different values to get them right. Then he's got this little scarf here going down that is, and then right underneath this is dark. You have to constantly be looking there, looking here, looking there, looking there, looking there. Look at it, look at that, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, till you get it right. You know, you can't just, and you have to pull away. One of my art teachers says the best part of painting is when you actually pull away, because when you pull away, that's when you see things into perspective. So that's important. So always remember, if I could do it, you could do it. And always have a belief in yourself that you can do it and you will do it, like I do. I don't just look at a picture and say, oh, this is, and I never use the word hard. I always use the word challenging. This is very challenging. It's never hard, it's challenging. So that gives me more of a desire to do it. So this is what I want you to do too. And remember my website, Lydia Forte-Santiago, LYDIA-FORTE-SANTIAGO. And if you want a critique, come to 2110 Forest Avenue and I'll give you free critique. So you could do it too. Remember, if I can do it, so can you. We're no different. So keep on getting your pads and pencils and drawing. That's what will make you get better. So remember and join me again in this little show that I hope I'm motivating you like I was motivated with my art of you could do it too. Remember your darks, remember your lights, remember your reinstating, remember throwing in your darks first. You can do it too. I could do it, so can you.
You can do it too. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You can do it too. Come along and draw with me. Pads and pencils, a very good start. So when you draw with your heart. You draw with your heart, 'cause you can do it too.